I will also turn recording for.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, I'm running letting agency for over 3 years now, yeah? Most of the time I've been doing this myself.
Yeah.
And I had few bad tenants on the way, yes? But then the problem is that those people, they work in the same places. Like one warehouse, one factory, and the word now spreads that they can just come and not pay, yes? So I haven't been taken to the court since now because I didn't have time. Literally, it was impossible for me to run around 100 tenants doing landlords, all the stuff, yeah, and then suing them. But this is 6 years that I've got, so I knew that I just have to bite my teeth, yeah. And, I will have to follow up. So now I need to, grill few people to give example out of them.
Correct.
So newest offenders, I need to take quick and decisive action. I've never sued a tenant, so I was reading your post, so I think.
So what have you done so far? What have you done so far with regards to a typical tenant?
I never had to evict by court, yeah? So the worst case...
No. What have you done? No, Radek, what have you done so far with a particular bad paying tenant?
Letters, so formal letter, demand of payment, and I'm now clamping on all those people who don't pay.
Right. So hang on. So with a typical bad paying tenant, you've done the letter.
Yep.
And how roughly, in the worst case, how much arrears are there? For example.
Roughly, the worst I had was usually it's about 8 to 10 weeks, yeah. But then I was able to push them out, but I didn't follow up with court.
Right. So what is their response when they're 8 weeks? What are their response? Are they responding or are they ignoring you?
They were ignoring me, yeah, because I didn't. Truth of the matter is, I didn't have capacity to chase them. Simple as that. Yeah? So I couldn't press on them hard. So I text them, send them a letter, and they knew that there's no strict consequence. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, now, I got a few guys that I want to get rid. So their areas are in between £1,000 to £2,000, where I want to really, because those people, they're not like, they're settled here, yeah. So they're taking peace, but they will not go to Poland. Let's say if I got Joe Bloggs staying for 8 weeks doing runner, I got difficulty to chase him in Poland. But those people are staying here locally, so I need to make example of them.
Okay, so how about you write them a letter saying that if they don't pay, not only will you send them an eviction notice, but so here's the thing. If you send them a Section 8, they can leave. Yeah, they can leave. Yeah, this is, I'm giving you 2 weeks notice. But the only way you're going to get the money is by taking them through to court.
Yes.
Yeah. But how about you send them a letter saying if they don't pay within 7 days, you will issue them with a court summons?
That's what I did, but I haven't done court summons. I will share a screen with you. I will show you a letter I wrote to them.
Okay.
I posted
Is it
this.
English or Polish?
It's both. It's got. I wanted to remove the argument that this is in English. They don't understand. Yeah.
So it's in both. Excellent. Good.
So I'm not like English translator, but I made an effort. Yes. And if they want to challenge me or whatever, they can pay for a translator. It's more or less, yeah. It just says pay back, or I will issue Section 8 and take you to court. Just 1 second. So let's.
Now maybe because they don't understand UK law, you might.
No, they do understand. They're just taking peace because they knew, and they are encouraging each other from workplaces, that they can get away with this. So that's exactly my problem now. So
so as you say, maybe the quickest the quickest thing.
You should see the letter.
I've got it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it. I've got it all in red. Okay, good, good. I can see it. Total arrears is £801. We attached the detailed rent schedule. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so that's perfect in English and in Polish. Okay,
yes.
Writing to you regarding your rent arrears, although early attempts to contact you will receive no payment from you. The letter will be delivered by hand to your address, posted. Yeah, okay, scroll for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, calculation is £801. Please clear rent with 7 days date for or contact office agree to rent arrears payment. Okay, I urge you not to ignore this letter. Lack of reaction from you will result in us serving you with a notice to end your tenancy and start legal procedures against you. Okay, perfect. 7 days notice is perfect. Upon receiving a judgment against you in the UK, debt will be chased in both countries, both in UK and Poland. Okay, good, good, good. Whether that's correct or not, I don't know. Right. The issue is that when they don't pay and you get a judgment against them, they'll have a CCJ. They won't be able to get a credit for a phone. They'll get no credit for 5 years.
I want to be nasty with worst offenders, yeah. So can I get CCJ, and let's say, because possibility for me to chase them up is second to none. I mean, it's nearly next to nothing, yes. So I just think, can I just issue CCJ against them, and then bankrupt them or do something nasty, like?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what will happen is, so you've done exactly the right thing by giving them a 7-day letter. You might also want to put in the letter, if we do not hear from you within 7 days, we will issue proceedings against you without further notification. So you're saying, if we don't hear payment off you in 7 days, we will carry on regardless, which you're entitled to do. So it's very simple. You go online to MCOL. Have you done this before?
No.
Right.
I started registering with them, but then
very straightforward. You can do it in 5 minutes, rather. 5 minutes. Okay.
Yep.
So if you want to make some notes on paper or whatever, I'll explain to you what to do.
Yeah, I'm recording this, so.
Okay. Yeah, you are. Okay. So you go on to MCOL, Money Claim Online. You just simply register yourself with an email address. You get a password for future logins in.
Is this register for company or person? How does it work?
It doesn't matter. Okay. So in your case, you've got to realize in the first place who is suing the client. So is it the tenant? So is it you, or is it on behalf of your landlord? I think you need to do this. Well, who is the contract with, I guess?
Contract is between landlord and tenant, but we're the agent. So
you're the agent.
I'm working on behalf of landlord.
Of course, of course. So I'm guessing, let's just rewind a bit. You theoretically should contact the client, your client,
landlord, you mean,
and say, I've got a non-paying tenant and I wish to issue a court summons against them to recover the rent arrears. Is it okay if I use 80, 90, 100 pounds out of the rent account to make the payment to the court? I'm sure if you said that to me, I'd say, are you doing the claim online? Yes. Okay. So you then go online, you set up the account in your name, that's fine. On the application form, it asks who the claimant is. Who is the claimant? And you put in the landlord as the claimant. Okay? And in the defendant, you put the tenant in as the defendant. And in the description, you keep it very simple. And this is how the court want to see it. So basically, you'd say something like, on the 1st of the 1st, 2019, the defendant took a tenancy under an AST, an assured short-hold tenancy agreement, to rent room number 1 at this property. the tenancy stated the rent would be paid monthly, forweekly, weekly, at the rate of. Payments were received in full or whatever, up to a certain point, whatever. As of date, no further rents were received. So the judge can see, right, so you've had no money since then. Get me? So then you clearly state in the principle, this was the arrangement, this was the rental agreement, this was the frequency, this was the amount. You might then, as I say, you might want to say that regular payments were received up to this date, and since that date, no further payments have been received. So then you then state what the date of the last payment was, and then the dates of the payments that were missing. Therefore, the tenant owes this much money as of this date. And I'm saying this because the date that you submit it, you might not actually get into court for another 4 weeks. By which time, there might be another 4 weeks debt. So, and that's not a problem because the judge will take that into consideration. Because the judge will say, are there any more arrears? And you can add them on at the time in court. Okay? So you then, and this is important, that there is a button or a tick box that says, do you wish to claim interest on the arrears? And in the past, we had to write a paragraph to say the claimant wishes to claim interest at a statutory rate of 8% per year. So if you tick that, it automatically inserts this box now, but it will ask you to calculate the rate of interest, okay, or rather the amount, on a daily basis, okay? So it's very simple. You just times the amount of money by 8%, which is the interest per year. You divide by 365, and that gives you a daily rate of a daily amount. So it's like £1.45 per day.
So let's say they owe whatever, £1,000.
It's £1,000 times 8%. That's £80. Yeah.
Right, divide by 365. Okay.
And that gives you a daily rate of interest, and that goes on the form as well. Okay. So then, what happens then is at the bottom of the box, it will give an opportunity for you to enter the agent, your details as the representative of the landlord. Yeah. So basically, this is you acting for the landlord. So it's like a solicitor would act for a client, if that makes sense. Okay. So you submit that to the court. You submit it online and pay a fee. The fee is a sliding scale depending on the amount of money, and in the notes it'll tell you what the fee is. Right. Okay. So it's sort of so much up to 500, and I think so much up to 1,000, and so on, so on. So then you press the button, pay, put your card in, job done. They will automatically then send that to the tenant. Okay.
So and obviously, let's say I got tenant that did runner. I'm not saying current tenants. Yeah. If they did runner, I still communicate on the last address. Yes. Yeah. Because that's rented address. That's where.
Correct. It will go. It will go to the address that they're living at. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then what you may want to do, just to sort of turn the heat up, is print that form and then put another letter to the tenant to say, further to my letter of where I notified you that you needed to pay within 7 days, I can confirm that we have now submitted a claim, a summons, a money claim in court, and you will be expected to hear from them. You will be given 28 days in which to pay, or you will have a CCJ against you.
What is with that? Now it's changed with this pre-action letter. I just send them letter as I showed you. So because there's now like this pre-action letter.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so you've done that, and this is so what we've just discussed is if they don't pay you within your 7 days pre-action letter, then you've done what you've said you're going to do. You're going to submit a line on court, yeah? And then then what can happen is they don't respond within the 7 days, and then you do the court. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now you then write them another letter after you've done this, enclose a copy of your summons, mm-hmm. and then say to them, because we haven't heard from you, we have now done what we said we were going to do. Mm-hmm. You have the court, you might want to explain that the court will give you 28 days to pay. If you do not, you will get a CCJ, a county court judgment against you. You may want to go online and cut and paste what happens if I get a CCJ, and just cut and paste some words. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a frightener now. This is to say, you won't get a credit for a mobile phone. You won't get a credit card. You'll struggle to get a reference. You'll struggle to get rent in future. You know what I mean? So this is a case now where they might just go, shh, right, okay, I need to pay this now, or else I'm going to be in trouble. And you might not even have to then go to court. This is my point. Because mm-hmm. if they pay you, you don't have to physically go to court.
So I don't have to submit the claim, just print the paperwork first?
No, do it. Yeah, no. Okay. Yes, I'm saying you do submit it, and you're printing off what you have submitted. However, mm-hmm. what you can do, and I have done in the past, is I have done this, prepared it. You can save it on MCOL and continue later. You can right. do a sort of save as. Right. You could print that and say, as of my letter of this date, where I gave you 7 days, I have now prepared the court summons, and if I do not receive payment, I will. But this is just more time again now. Right. You're now saying, I'm giving you another 7 days now. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's up to you. But if you want to make an example out of these people, and if your client has given you the go-ahead to pay the fee, mm-hmm. then you might want to just bump, and then let these people realize they can't mess you about.
Yeah, I know that this word will spread if I will get onto current tenants. I know I got 6 years to pursue all the arrears, yeah. So I'm not counting that actually I will retrieve the money, but I just want to make an example. I got one guy who owes 2,600 and he took a piece. Yeah. I know he's working in London. So I just think, am I right? Because I understand if I will get judgment against him, then I can later ask for bankruptcy of that person. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes, you can. Well, what happens is tell me exactly about this situation, and we can be specific. So, when did he incur the debt? Where, and he's moved? What's the situation?
That was that was in 2017. He checked out in about February, spring 2018. Yeah, he checked out. I just started up. I was a bit naive. I was listening to his bullshit stories. Yeah. But true of the matter is that he was smoking weed, taking drugs, yeah? So he was spending his money elsewhere. But I was thinking he's without money, he's working on the phone, like I only had 2 days work, those stories.
Yeah.
And but by then, I didn't have accounting system, so I didn't track the rents, yeah?
I understand what you mean. I've been there, you have the excuses and you've got no reason not to believe him. Okay, the problem you have with him is, okay, it's 2 years ago, yeah? It's nearly 2 years ago now. So when you serve a notice on somebody...
He signed how much he owes. He signed statement.
Right. So where are you going to serve that notice?
To old address.
Right, this is the problem you've got. It's 2 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay, now...
I can message him on Messenger, for instance, which is current.
Okay. Yeah, so here's what happens. Yes, you have 6 years to pursue somebody, right? You do have 6 years. And in the case of okay, let's rewind. So what will happen is you will write to him at his old address. Now, under CPR rules, I think it's 6.1 or 6.3, it states that a valid notice is served on a person's current or last known address.
So that is last known address.
Correct. Now, what will happen then is, as you know, it is unlikely that he's going to receive this paperwork because he's a transient type of person. He's not going to set up a forward address for 2 years.
Yeah.
So he's going to be like, I'm gone, and he'll forget about it. Mm-hmm. So you might want to say to him, because you're in message with him, right, I have now served you with a notice at your last known address in accordance with the CPR rules, Crown Prosecution Rules 6.1 or 6.3, stating I've served it at your last known address. It's in your interest to have a copy of this summons, because if you do not respond, you will get, that's you, not him, you will get a judgment by default. And a judgment by default means that you'll get judgment because he has not responded. Mm-hmm. Now, if he hasn't responded, you will automatically get a judgment in his name. So he will have a CCJ.
Mm-hmm. I just think because this was done with premeditation. Yeah, he did this for purpose. Yeah. So again, I don't like, after all these few years. Yeah, I've just lost sensitivity to this, and I just need to. Yeah. This is their karma. Yeah. So now that's the consequences. Yeah. When I'm late with my bills, I'm getting reminders. You know, I was late with council tax. I was charged a year up front. I had bailiff knocking to my door. Straight after. Correct. But tenants, they can just get away with everything. I'm just a bit fed up.
Right. But what I can tell you is I have got CCJs on people. Okay, I have them. I had a tenant last year owes me £4,000. Okay, he promised to pay. He had a motorbike accident. He showed me a letter saying that he's off work. He cannot work, but he's going to have a payment from his company for 6 months' pay, and when he gets it, he'll pay me. So I waited 3 months for this to happen, and then when it came, he didn't pay me. Mm-hmm. So by the time I took him to court and did exactly what I'm telling you, I was more thousands of pounds down. So I now have a CCJ on him and his wife. Mm-hmm. Now I have the CCJ, but I don't have any money.
That's correct. I'm not worried about this because it's just a matter of rules, yeah, because that's the problem. Because they encourage each other, and that causes further damage to my business. And I just need to put solid stop. They need to understand this is not acceptable by any means. I'm very understandable person. I'm good with people, but they can't behave like this.
Correct.
So I will even go as much as to bankrupt the person, because this just need to send a message. That's their choice, yeah? If I would do the same, if I wouldn't pay my bill, I'm getting reminder, bailiff, whatever. It works same to me. So I'm paying all this money, just...
Right. I think if you just go to the point where you get the CCJ, this will cause them a lot of discomfort, because they won't, the CCJ, as soon as, I don't know about you, but when you take a reference, or you get a reference for the tenant, do you do a credit check on them?
I get most of tenants coming from Poland, so this credit check is useless.
Yeah.
Of course. Next thing, with some tenants, you need to understand the model. They are like living underground, so they jump from one shared accommodation to another. They never register for council tax. They're untraceable. They're living like gypsies. Yeah. So with them, I will not be able to catch them. So like getting CCJ will mean nothing for them. So I will go all the length and I will bankrupt the person. Because
Okay, well, one step at a time. But in future, these people who leave you and that you have a CCJ on them, then the next landlord or agent might well check them, because he's been in the country 2 or 3 years now, and we'll see this CCJ.
I think now we will go for something. We will register with Credit Reference Agency. So we will say to them, listen, if you're renting from us, that's the rules. If you're paying late, I will register this as late payment. If you're not happy, don't rent from us. Simple. Because they're just taking piece.
I agree. Okay, so back to that. That's what I think you should do. So this person who's currently in arrears, not that the 2-year one, somebody who's in arrears currently, you want to set this example. So I think you need to clear with your landlord that he's prepared, that you're prepared to do the CCJ, but you need his agreement to pay the fee, because you can't be paying the fee out of your fees unless you do. It's up to you, yeah. But obviously, you need his. If you were my agent, and you said, "Look, I've got this. I've been trying. Here's the copies of the letter. I'm trying. The guy's taking the mick. I'm prepared to put a CCJ letter together and a court summons. I'm prepared to do it, but then there's a fee to be paid, and you tell me it's £85. I would probably say, yeah, okay, you do it. I'll take the money out of my rent roll as an expense. So I think you need to do that, yeah.
Because I gave all the chances, and hundreds too many chances for those people.
I agree.
They're just taking piss, and I just need to cut it, because this is not.
I agree.
That the worst thing is that this is infectious. This spreads, yeah.
Absolutely.
And they're encouraging each other. So as well, I'm gonna get some steps with the Polish judgment system. I will find out whether I can sue them, whether CCJ can be translated, because yeah, I will just make a research, because they just need to get roasted publicly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think in the first instance, you need to be firm and precise now. Get this paperwork out now, but you also want to put things in like the fact that this CCJ, when on their record, will be covered by all credit references and will affect you in the following way. And just for your information, go online and just type in what happens if I get a CCJ, and it will list the problems one person will have. And then you can copy and paste those problems. You know, credit for a phone, credit for a TV, you know, bank account. They'll have loads of problems, and they might not realize it, but because they're not from the UK. And then you can say, you know, you need to take action now, otherwise this will screw you up for 5 years.
Yeah, so that's my New Year's challenge, really. But
okay.
I have to do it, because now it's just obvious. We've been sending staff to chase some rent arrears, and that's what they reported back to me. So literally, tenants are saying straight to us, "We don't pay you because you never take an action." Yeah, that's what they're saying. So I now need to really draw the weapon, because now it's just
correct. Good. Yeah, you must do. Yes, you seriously must do. Okay. So if you need any more help on that at the time you're going to do it, just drop me a message or give me a call if you're stuck, and I'll talk you through that. That's not a problem.
Okay. So that's little issue I'm facing now. But then coming back to major plan, yeah, this is just a distraction, really.
Yeah. So
yeah, I've been to London. I made new connections. So again, I will be using this to get investors on board. I connected with few people. I mean, I already met some old contacts of mine, because I know those people for 5 years. And they're organizing events. This one in particular is called Partners in Property.
Yeah.
And I think, again, being present regularly in London will help me to get the investors on board. And I already explained what I'm doing. So there were people showing interest. I was speaking to hosts of the event, what I want to do. So they're happy to get me on board. So that's what I did. And
brilliant.
I told you, like, Christmas, really, I spent recovering, really. I've had a bit of fever and just been down.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, Kasia just came back to work, so I'm just catching up. But then, I emailed my investors from Hong Kong. Yeah, so I hope to start pipeline with them as well. So now it's just focusing on more viewings, because I'm already in the middle. This portfolio is nearly at final stages. Yeah, so it's been approved. I'm selling portfolio for a client.
Yeah.
So if that sale will come through, that's one job done. There is, I told you, 3 refurbs that client is doing. and this three houses that will be next. So again, I will make some. I started scanning. I showed you seller from shop, yeah. So we will post some videos on that as well. And yeah, so really, I haven't done much progress over Christmas.
Okay, that's fine.
That was the reason, but I had to step down, and then next thing is like I need to slow down because of that issue with tenants. So because in February we got new wave of tenants coming from Poland because new season is starting.
How many?
In factory. They could be recruiting around 100. So pretty much all our spare rooms will be requested by agency. Yes. So now my priority is because they will be coming from 7th of February. So my priority is now to get rid of bad apples. So that's about time, 2 weeks, Section 8 them, and then I will be pursuing them via court because they're just taking piss.
Correct.
And that's the current thing. But yeah, objective is still same. So
that's always the objective. It's just that what we've got to do is keep talking to keep you focused. So as a matter of interest, just remind me the projects you just said about the portfolio and the 3 refurbs, because I've got my notes from the last meeting. 3 properties, 1 progressing, which is the terraced house one, which we talked about. Yeah, and then you've got right. So that's all I've got here. Where in regards of you're progressing the terraced house in South
Emsel.
Emsel, yeah.
Yes. So that's is with Chinese. They were also messaging me now, so we're just catching up. I will just explain. I had a bit of downtime over Christmas, so whether they buy or not, I will still connect.
Right.
But yeah, so it's just really, so I need to do more viewings because I got only one property to source, so everything else is already purchased.
So that's what it's about. That's what it's about now, is the viewings, isn't it?
Yes.
So here's the thing now, Radek, you can't cut yourself in half. So you've got this lady that I just saw now helping you. She's back in, yeah?
Yes.
Right. So can you sit down with her and do 1 MCOL with her first, and then let her get on with the rest?
Yes, that's correct. That's what we were doing. So she was actually doing letters. She's doing letters now, as we speak.
Yeah.
I hand delivered 4 letters already, and I posted them last evening, and then we're following with the rest of people because they were just taking Mickey. I've been talking to them so long, and they're just, it's their choice. Yeah. They're
of course, 100%. And what I can tell you and support you with is that I have a saying: if a tenant is opening their mouth, they're lying. And they will tell you everything that they need to tell you. I've had so many excuses. I could write a book, There's so many excuses. I had one tenant, their father died 4 times,
Poor dad.
Yeah. And cancer, heart attacks, people dying. I had one guy telling me that his parent had a heart attack in Spain and he had to go back and forth to Spain, and this is why he didn't have any money. Rubbish, total rubbish, absolute rubbish.
I now say this quote from Bible: "You will know them by their doings, by their deeds."
Yeah.
So I also stopped listening because it's just, if they do something, that's how I will judge them, by their doing, not by what they're saying.
That's right. And as you said, what's really important is you stop this spreading of words that you're not going to follow up and they cannot pay. But at the end of the day, when they come to you, they're telling you they're working, they can afford to pay. So any change to that original agreement, there shouldn't be any change. But they think that they can live there for nothing. They think they can. It's incredible, isn't it? It's incredible that people think, well, I can just live here and not pay. How good is that?
Yeah, I was wondering like how they were raised, yeah, whether this is like, are they from criminal families or they're just self-taught? Because like my mother never taught me to steal, never
No.
ever, and we were living in object poverty, and
Yeah.
she fed us she raised 4 children on her own, yeah.
Yeah.
Never ever we had to steal, yeah, and just those people, they don't have to steal, they got regular jobs, they.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible, isn't it incredible? It's incredible. So yeah, hey, there you go. So you must not have any sympathy with these people, because if they're not paying, they choose not to pay. They're choosing not to pay.
I made my mind. Me being good for people is providing them safe accommodation, nice standard, great service, and decent value. That's me being good. That's me
From the
being
beginning.
good for them, because I'm also more understanding. I'm helping them to settle in. I'm giving them all the tools, all my contacts. They're getting great value for their money. I didn't have this same when I came here. So that's me being good for them.
Correct.
But I will not
Correct.
be taking Mickey anymore.
No, you're right too. And you're 100% correct not to, because that's exactly what they're doing. And it is exactly. And as I say, I've had people do it out of me, and you know that you just ride it, and then they just go. They just up and go. And your tenants are more transient than mine, because you know they come and go. They can just pack their bags, finish their job, and go back to Poland, go to Spain, go to London. They can go anywhere, you know, rather than a longer term AST in a house, for example, you know, if they rent a whole house. That's what I'm saying, you know.
I only had 2 that trashed the house. One I spent, it was my beginning, so I didn't want to admit to landlord, so I spent 3.5 grand recarpeting, repainting everything. So again, I know that this person is still in UK and is working, so I will get bailiff to attach to their wages, and they will know. But then I will just take my time. But then like with rooms and this, at the beginning I didn't believe, yeah, like this is happening, and because it was me running around 100 people, it was just not possible. I didn't have tools in place, system, capacity. Oh no, sorry, not system, capacity. I work till dawn from sunset till night, yeah. Sorry, from sunrise till sunset, yeah, every day. But I couldn't manage on my own, one person. But now we got office. My wife does the admin.
You've got Kasha, yeah.
Yeah, we're on track now. But this is just like some old issues. But then current issues, obviously, that's perception that they can get away with murder.
No, don't let them do it. Okay. So I'm gonna have, because we started late, I've got to move on in about 10 minutes. But don't worry about that. We'll catch up again anytime. I don't want to leave you.
In a couple of days, I should formalize something with Southampton, and I will book another batch of viewings. Yes.
Yes, please. This is what we need to be doing now. It's viewings. Since
Kasha is back now, I will be able to do it. So.
Okay. So the note I'm making here is viewings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to get so and as we've said, you've got a number of clients in the wings waiting to buy the property. Yeah, you've got people waiting.
Yes, and I made new contacts in London, so again, I will make regular presence. Pitching for my investment. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I might have a client who might be interested. So maybe the next time we meet, if you can give me a typical model of a property in your area. So that's like, you know, just typical purchase, refurb value, and then the tenant incomes, and then the sort of plan over a 12 to 2 year period of return, then I'll know then. Because I've got clients abroad myself, and the issue is trust. They trust me, I trust you, then you know, I can say, look, I've got a great guy. I've got one lady from Singapore, who crazy. I'll tell you basically, but she came on board with me as a mentee, and she just was looking for a flip, buy to refurbish, but didn't have all the money. The next thing I hear, she's in the UK going to Birmingham looking to buy an HMO. And I'm thinking, why you haven't even, and as a mentee, she hadn't even discussed this with me. So I sort of eked out of her that she joined some other people and they were doing like a group tour to Birmingham. And I've asked her about it. She's been a bit sheepish about, how's it going? And then I said to her, so have you refinanced this property? No, it depends on the rent. Whoa, you mean you've entered into a deal, you've entered into buying a property, and you haven't sorted out the finance off of it when it's done because it depends on the rent? That doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? You don't even buy it unless you know that you're going to refinance it to get 60-70% of your money back out. It's crazy. So if I know there's a model with you in Barnsley and I know there's the demand, then I can happily introduce, Okay.
That's fine.
Good. Okay. Anything else before we go?
With both, just like a philosophical thing, yeah? This is like concept of karma, yes? Karma is what we're doing. It's our making. It's nothing else. It's not destiny. It's like if people do stupid things, they get stupid results back. Yeah. Simple. Yeah. If they do good, they get good back. And same.
That's right.
Same with investors. If they're doing stupid decision, end of the day, it's none of your business or my business. It's their decision at the end of the day. This training in London I've been. I don't know if you met guy Rod Turner.
Heard of him? Okay.
Yeah, so he's very active on groups. He's making a podcast. But again, like he made a presentation what the deal really makes. Yeah. And he explained pretty much the same what I'm explaining to landers. No, but you need to deduct this and that. Yeah, that's what you will see. That's the cash in the bank. That's the voice. Yeah.
The real stuff.
Yeah.
The
so
real stuff.
Yeah, he's talked through real stuff, and that's why I got encouraged to go to this place. Yeah, because they're unlike the PIN, progressive, promising, quick bucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be more of my investor profile.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, well, as we've just got a short one this time, if you want to drop me a line with your availability in, say, 2, maybe 3 weeks, just to keep you going, let me know what you've been doing. I'd be interested. I'm really looking forward to you sending me some deals for analysis through.
Okay. That's fine.
So even if you haven't, even if they're just in the pipeline, send them through to me on a link from Rightmove or Zoopla or whatever, and then let me have a look, because I'm keen to, even though I've come up once, I'm keen to fully understand the nitty gritty of your area, so I can understand the values and what works we've got to do.
Now, one thing you can help me with. When you did Open Day course, you were using some tools. You had the Excel spreadsheets to work out refurb cost. Yeah. If you can email me that over, then that will help me to assess. Refurb cost.
I've just made a note of that now. I will do. Okay.
Yes, so that's pretty much, and I will just now focus on viewings. We also that's another grant. I mean, this is a major thing for me. But then we schedule lots of training for myself and for Kasia. So I'm working with you. But then again, I booked a few letting agent courses. Yeah, so we're really pushing on it, because the ROPA is coming, regulation of property agents. Then it will be trickle down to landlords. Yes. So I don't want I don't want to be caught by this. I want to prepare prior to this. And so we planned for quite few trainings in between. Good. But then again, I feel confident now that I can leave my guys, because they are now doing viewings, moving in. Yeah. So I can leave office to do my stuff. So obviously not 100%, but then this is what I was planning for. So we're progressing.
Absolutely, you're on the right. As we've always said, your your motivation is right, your morals, your ethics are right, you know, you're doing everything the right thing, you know, you're not looking for a quick buck, you're trying to make sure everything goes properly. So as long as we keep going like that, you can't fail. You can't fail.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, drop me a line when you're free. In the next 3 weeks, I'm going away to see my clients in Asia as of the 5th of Feb. So if we can speak before then, can you just check your diary and send me a message with what suits you, and we'll hook up again.
Yeah, okay. And then we can, I will also catch up with Łukasz, so we can talk some viewings through, yeah?
Yeah, brilliant. But if you can send me some properties that you're just reviewing or examples that you're thinking about, and, you know, because you might be seeing something, I might see something else in them, you know, we might have the advantage of just viewing them together. And I think maybe in the next couple of months, when you've got something on, then I know I'm certainly going to be okay to come up again, you know, and walk the streets with you again.
So in meantime, if you can send me costing tools so I can work out refer costs, that will help.
Yeah. Okay, will do. Okay, dokes. Okay, speak soon. Please let me know when you're suitable and free next then, Radek. Yeah?
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay, all the best. Okay, say hello to everybody for me. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.